Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, it is a new day, a bright Sunday, a day that the Lord has made, that we should all be glad and rejoice in it. Today is yet another episode of health issues. Today's topic is very, very important. When you are a child, you will have either a mother or a grandma, great grandma. If you are a mother or a dad, you will have the mom, grandma, great grandma, or great granddad, or a dad. And if you are an elderly, in every house there is an elderly person. Therefore, it is very important for us to take care of our elderly ones. How do we do this? This is done by every individual, either you are a healthcare professional or not. But once you have an elderly person in your house, it is your responsibility. In Africa, that's where I come from, so I can use that as an example. Yes, we nurse or we care for our own elderly ones. In Europe, it's different. But wherever you are, giving care, your best to your elderly ones is very paramount. Therefore, I will encourage you this afternoon to invite your friends and family. Ask them to also invite other people to join us this afternoon at Richmond Media as we discuss this topic, the health of the aged or the aged. I don't know however you pronounce it. It is a pleasure this afternoon to introduce to you my guests for this afternoon. As usual, I can't move without my brother. Therefore, this afternoon, let me introduce to you Brother George Ackon. Brother George, welcome once again to Richmond Media Health Issues.
Thank you.
Today, we are blessed to have one of our usual visitors. He is our own, one of our dear brothers, who is mostly with us, not all the time, but whenever he has time, he joins us. He is near to me and far from some of you. And it's no other person than my own dear brother, Brother Emmanuel Kwanzaa. Brother Kwanzaa, you once again welcome to Richmond Media. Possibly, yes, he is here. Brother Kwanzaa, you're welcome to Richmond Media. It is a pleasure to have both of you around, and it's also a pleasure to have you as our viewer.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Our listener.
Thank you.
And our dear one supporting us this afternoon. As the topic goes, Brother George and Brother Kwanzaa, could you please give us the importance, why this topic is very important and dear to us for us to discuss it this afternoon? Brother George, the floor is yours.
Okay. We want to special way welcome our viewers and our listeners across the world. It's very, very important that we all have this lesson and have this discussion. As we all know, the overview of today's lesson is that as we are striving and we have come into existence, we have no choice that wherever we have been born to, we will grow. And it's better that we grow gracefully than to grow and also get sick or grow in sickness. Therefore, growing is not a choice. You cannot choose that I will like to grow or I will like not to grow, whether we like it or not. is part of this human system. So the Bible said in Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 1 that remember also your creator in days of thy youth, which means that now that we are not aged or we are aging, we need to try as much as possible to do all things that can help us. Then Joel chapter 2 verse 28, the Bible says that, and it shall come to pass afterwards that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, which means that even when it comes to our Christian life, growing or being aged is also a paramount, and it plays a major role, beloved. So the overview of today's lesson is helping us to know that whether we like it or not, we will grow. And now we have people who are just harassing the aged, who don't treat them well, who are just treating them like some things. But remember, today that is the seed that you are sowing. Tomorrow you will also be the aged, and someone will also be part of you. But remember, if you take good care of your body today, tomorrow that you are aged, your body will take good care of you. So that's why we want to bring this topic on board, so that we will know how best to treat the body today. And tomorrow, when we are no more going up and down, how the body will also take care of us. Thank you. Alakonsa, I don't know if you also have something to talk about the overview as we are waiting for Sister Bimah.
Yes, thank you very much, and good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all our listeners worldwide. It's actually a pleasure and an honor to talk about this very crucial and important topic. I want to say kudos to Richmond Media and the team for honestly putting this important topic together. God bless you very much. You know, what you have shown really reflects your universality, where you want to throw your net that touches every aspect of human life. And I want to praise you all for that, and may God's name be honored for this beautiful opportunity given to me. Actually, aging is a universal problem and an issue that the world is talking about. And so I want to say that people have a lot of myths, wrong ideologies about aging. And so I believe bringing up this topic will help us to demystify some of these ideas that they are bringing on board. And some of these ones include the fact that the aged are burdening onto the society. That's first. They also say that the aged are ugly, they are stinking, they are witches and wizards, they are dumb, they cannot learn, they even do not have, they have no value, there's no essence of their existence in our society. And so people are tempted to get rid of them. Families and young people are also willing to ignore them. But I want to stand here as a strong advocate for old age, because as I'm working as a nurse in the United Kingdom, and I've also worked in various care homes, and now the society is gradually running into an aging community where we are seeing a lot of old people and with a lot of comorbidities and diseases. And so, with this topic on board, our main focus, as you said, is actually helping people to grow old peacefully, because aging is inevitable. We will all age. However, the way we will grow old will determine the kind of life we will live after we grow old. And so we can grow old and still feel young within. That is the focus of this discussion, just as you said. And I like this statement by one popular American pop artist. It's called Jay-Z. He says, "Forever young." Even though your body starts growing old, because old aging is a natural phenomenon we cannot avoid, it is inevitable. We can still grow old and feel young and postpone our funeral. So this is what the topic is mainly about. And I'm very happy we are going to talk about this, because there is a lot of things to talk about when it comes to aging. And I'm ready to support as you and your team hit on with the topic. Thank you very much, my brother.
Welcome. Okay, so we want to acknowledge our first viewers who have come on board. We have Sister Victoria said, "Good morning to you all, doctors." Then my name George Owusu Bequin is also greeting us. Good afternoon. So our viewers and our listeners across the world, if you have any question or a suggestion, you can also drop in and we will read for you. Thank you. So Mr. Kwanzaa, we want to move on. We want our viewers to know the meaning of aging, then we will continue.
Yeah, very interesting topic. Aging is actually the sum total of all those activities that begin right at the time when you are born until you die. That is the simplest definition I can give for aging. Scientifically speaking, all the signs and the things that goes on in your life, that changes that you pass through. So it's actually the journey from the cradle to the grave. That is aging. So that is what we call aging. It is actually the process. It's a process. It's step by step. It's a gradual process that starts from birth until death. And so it's actually the period that goes on from the time you are born and you pass through all those things until you end your life. That is the general. I don't want to be sounding so scientific and technical, but it simply means the time that you start from birth until you die. That is the process of aging. That's it. Thank you.
To add to it means aging is inevitable
Mm-hmm.
process affecting all living organisms. So as
Mm-hmm.
human beings are growing and aging, you see all living things, the trees, the animals, they are always growing and also aging. So it means this lesson is very important so far as we want to age, and so far as that is a process that is not a choice, but it's a must. You definitely read there. Thank you. So
So, George,
we want, yeah.
yeah, just like you said, I want to link it with some biblical or the Christian perspective, since this is a Christian communication platform.
Yeah.
God actually um, wished that we live eternal. God wanted humanity to live forever with no illness, no comorbidities. We will live permanently without any form of blemish on our skin. So aging came in when we made our own choices. And then God said, so far as you have eaten the forbidden fruit, we shall surely die. So aging has been one of the choices human beings made, and this has been part of us for the rest of our lives. God did not, however, leave us behind with the aging. He has said that even though we are going to pass through this process, He is willing to accept and support us if only we will stick to His guidelines. So I am very passionate about the issue of aging because I have worked on a lot of aged people, even right here in the UK, in Ghana, and I've seen the detrimental effects psychologically, physiologically, economically, socially on people, and economically on the society. If we go in the UK NHS platform, they will tell you the huge sums of money they are spending on the aged only, because our society is gradually growing with the high level of increasing in life expectancy. People are growing very much older. However, they are coming along with a lot of comorbidities, diseases that we do not expect. I'm sure you'll be talking about them. And this is creating a lot of tasks for the society. And so it is very important that we discuss aging so that our younger generation can plan their aging even at this point in time. And then we slow down the aging process and even still live younger whilst our body grows old. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Kwanzaa and Brother George, for giving us the in-depth overview or understanding of aging. At this point, at every point in life, there are changes throughout the developmental stage. In this case, what are the physical changes that comes along with aging?
Okay, so when we are talking about physical changes, it means the things that you can see and what you can testify to. So you remember that initially the person, either a male or a female, looks nice with no wrinkles, with we will say with fluid filled body. But you realize that as the person is aging to a point, the skin that were being the good elasticity will try to now be sanguine. So you see the female at a point, the breast was just standing firm, but to a point as the person is aging, sagging of the breast, then you will see the wrinkleness that occurs. The face is obvious that you can see the body very wrinkles. At times, some people who did not practice a good safe plan during the early stage, and they were violating the laws when it comes to water intake, they will be dehydrated, and they'll be having the dryness of the skin. Then you will see the hair that also growing thin and thinner, and also graying in color, which means there is changes of the hair that you also see. When you are young, active, your muscles, you have a strong muscles. But as you are growing or you are aging physically, there's decreased strength in your muscles, then loss of muscle mass. So little thing, then you see that there is a problem out there. Then joint. Now you can stretch, you can hold, you can flex, you can adapt any of the things. But now as you are growing, stiffness comes in. Little things, you are complaining of joint pains, then there is reduced range of motion exercise. So now you can just be stretching your hand like, but when you age to a point, you can't do what you can be doing with the joint, and that's also another aspect. Then when it comes to the vision and hearing, oh, whenever you are coming, you can see that, oh, this is George who is coming, this Sister Victoria who is coming, this Brother Usubekwe who is coming. But to a point, as the person is aging, you be coming, then he will want you to talk first before he can identify that, yes, this George Owusu Bequin or this Sister Victoria. Then to a point, you can just say, hi, auntie, hi, mommy, hi, granny. But to a point, you need to come closer and also shout in the ears before the person can really hear whatever you are saying. Then you see this where the youth and the younger ones ball, because they want to say, give me money to buy something. You say, you said what? Then you see that it's like the person is trying to expose you. You want to take something, but he's not getting you. So you see, all of the people around will turn and look at you. And you need to understand that it's a process that some individuals might go through. Then when it comes to the heart, there's reduced functioning. So there's always easy fatigability, that's easy tiredness. The vessels are the tubes that supplies the heart with blood and also takes blood from the heart. It needs to be flexible, but as you are aging, stiffness comes in. So most people also experience that stiffness of the vessels. Then that leads to the increased pressure. Then also some people, there will be insulin resistance that can lead to their comorbid conditions like the diabetes, and also increases in weight aspect. As you are aging, digestive system also slows. So they mostly, some lose appetite, some are linked with constipation, and you need to have time with them. Else, as they are not eating, you might end up dumping food anywhere or shouting on them. No, this is not the process. We want to advise you and create the awareness that these are some of the physical changes that occurred. So if you are a caretaker, if you are the granddaughter, grandson, you need to be patient, because one day you also reach there. Then immune system, as you are aging and you are not careful, your immune system will lower, then they are prone to infectious conditions. So these are what I can say about the physical changes in regards to aging. Thank you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Mr. Kwanzaa, you want to come in? So The floor
That
is.
that that was a brilliant submission from Brother George. It's actually a very, very simplified and summarized approach in actually telling us how our bodies become when we start growing older. I want to just give some small physiological background. Like he said, our life is like a triangle, like that. When you start life like this triangle, you start from a lower level. That is when you are born, and you start going up there. What is when your beauty, your strength, your energy, your power, your skills, everything, it will get to a point in time you will reach the climax, the peak, or the zenith. When you get there, everything gets to a standstill. And then from that moment, everything starts to decline, going down. So with aging, we realize from his point that he was giving, everything was gradually declining. So five features that made you a man, your testosterone levels starts to decline. Okay, and you see those reproductive effects that comes with aging. So your chest becoming so broad is now shrinking. Your posture is also going to be affected. Your spinal area, the disc that is lining between like a sandwich, begins to shrink, and so your posture changes into like you are having some load at your back, and then your height is starting to decrease. Your sexual potency starts to reduce because of your hormonal imbalances that is being affected, and vice versa. On the female aspect, you also experience the decline of estrogen. Estrogen is the one that makes you who you are as a woman. Those features he talked about, your breast standing, your sexual drive, and all those stuff start to decline. And I am very happy George took his time to address these important things, because these are what our young people who have been exposed to the aged do not have. And because they don't know these things, they think every old person is supposed to be like them or like us, the younger people. And so they expect a lot from them, which is not supposed to be so. They are going through a lot of things that is actually changing in their mind. When you are young, your brain, your nerves are very sharp. They transmit nerve impulse very rapidly. And so we are able to receive information. We process into information quickly from the mind, interpret them, make meaning, and store very well, very effectively. Unfortunately, when we grow, these things start to decline. The nerve cells in the brain start going down. The cells, neurons start to shrink. A lot of them start to die. And science has proven to us that when a person is growing, his neurons starts to decline. And when a nerve cell dies, it cannot be replaced. So when they used to be 100, it's now dying off and they cannot be replaced, and it become about like 20, 50, 30. And that is where they start having problems with thinking, their emotions, their understanding, their perception. They become slow. Hearing becomes a problem, like my brother has been talking about. So all these things are things I'm happy we are addressing them, so that it will make us know what the aged person is going through psychologically, cognitively, like we talked about. The brain loses all those abilities that is able to perform when the person was young. And so you can imagine the aged person sitting down, look at myself when I was younger, and now things have changed. My skin is wrinkled. I am not even able to tolerate heat. I'm not able to protect my body, maintain my body temperature, so I'm always prone to cold. And so I get easily depressed. I start forgetting things. I start losing concentration. I start behaving unseemingly abnormal. That is not normal the way I used to be. It's not their fault. It is all because nature is taking its gradual course. Everything is gradually declining. And then we start losing interest in participating things that we used to love to do. And Solomon is a very perfect example of these things. When Solomon was young, we realized he was full of energy, enjoying every kind of man, women, and wealth and everything. But when he started growing old, he said he had lost interest, and he started saying vanity upon vanity. Nothing interests him anymore. He was actually transitioning from a state of strong mental well-being to a moment of great level of depression, anxiety, frustration, and then he starts to ponder over their past life. They worry if they have not been able to achieve a lot of things that they wanted to achieve. And if they are able to achieve them, they become excited. They have a sense of dignity and honor. But if they don't, they become depressed more, they become suicidal, they become withdrawn, and they become so isolated from the society. These and many other more changes goes on in the life of the aged. And our young folks need to understand this, that it is not their fault, it is actually physiological that is affecting their body, and it's affecting their thinking, and it's actually going to affect their life socially, even economically, which I'm sure we shall be talking about very soon. Thank you, Mami.
Thank you so much, Brother Sponsor, for giving us this in-depth explanation of the physiological aspect of aging. At this point, there are so many ways that we can maintain our health, including our age. How can we maintain the health of the aging in the aspects of emotional as well as spiritual?
Okay,
Okay.
emotional health, very, very crucial. Um, you know, there is one scientist, he's actually well known, he's known as Eric Erickson. Eric Erickson is a very big time psychosocial scientist who actually brought a lot of theories about human psychosocial behavior. He talked about the stages of psychosocial development, and that is the part where he talked about when a man starts getting to the 60, between 50 to 60 and thereabout. You know, we have various age of stages of aging. We have the young old, the middle old, and then the old. Those ones are there. So when the person gets to that stage of 60 and or 55 gear about, there is a stage that Eric Erickson calls it integrity versus despair. That stage is a period where the aged starts to think all the children are gone. Probably, if she was to be married, the husband might have died, or maybe vice versa, and they start to reflect. They are in an empty nest situation. When I say empty nest, it means all their children, their grandchildren, everybody has left them, and it's just them alone on their rocking chair, and you can see them with the pictures of life around them. And that is when they start having a lot of reflection on their past memories. And when they start having those reflections, if it is a good one, that he achieved his goals and aim, and he felt that he has lived a life that has been impactful to society. They have a sense of integrity, dignity, self actualization within them that, oh, I have lived a good life and I am very proud. I have my grandchildren. If we have actually thought about, if we see our old people and we meet them, they try to start introducing us to other people. Oh, look at my grandchild. She is the this and this and that. She's the director of this. They just don't need only money or something. They just want to feel you around them and let you make them feel they have been impactful into your life. That is the integrity aspect of it, ego integrity. But when they realize their life was not properly spent, they have memories that they made faulty choices. They couldn't take care of their children, their grandchildren, family members, society. Their life was a nuisance to the society, and they start to grow and remember these things. They get depressed. They have a sense of regrets and despair, depression starts coming in, and then this affect their emotions and it makes them very unhappy. And I've already talked about when they start looking at the changes they have gone through. I used to be able to walk on my own, but now someone needs to hold me. They experience some level of incontinence, like when they sometimes, you, if you feel the urge to urinate, you will go out there and do it by your own self, but now you don't have full control over it. And when you don't have full control over it, and you are a man and a woman grown old, and now you're going to be in a diaper, adult pad, it's very uncomfortable. When you need to change, somebody has to do it for you. You feel a sense of being a burden onto society. It is very depressing, very frustrating, very, very uncomfortable for them, because they are seeing those changes about them. Some men start seeing sexually. I like issues on sex, so I'll talk about that one. When they start seeing that their manhood is unable to erect as it used to be, There is this psychological issue with old people. When they grow old, they still want to behave like they were younger, especially with sexuality. And so they try to prove to themselves, convince themselves that they can have good sex. And when they start to see that they don't get those satisfaction, they become depressed, they become uncomfortable, they become unhappy. So coupled with so many changes that goes on in the mind, memory lapses, especially with short-term memory lapses. They eat today, right now, they will tell you, I've not eaten, and you prompt them, they remember, they feel uncomfortable. There is a whole lot of things going on in their mind, and they feel uncomfortable about it. So here, emotional health of the aged is very, very crucial. What we have to do as carers, as people who are with them, first of all, is not to be judgmental. First one, you don't have to be judgmental. You have to understand whatever they are going through in life. And you also have to always draw close to them and then motivate them. Always point the good things they have been through. Tell them the positives of their life. That will reinvigorate them. It will energize them. It will encourage them. Make them feel a sense of well-being, sense of fulfillment, and sense of purposefulness in life. Moreover, you do not always have to be arguing with them all the time. You have to always try to be in their shoes. That is empathy, understanding what they are going through. When you are communicating with them, don't communicate with them as if you are talking to your peers. No. You have to know they don't like you to shout because you feel they cannot hear. It affects them emotionally, but you rather draw closer to them. You see how, George, you have posted that lady. She has a very calm, well open composure. And then when you are talking to them, you have to rather, instead of shouting or raising the tone of your voice, you rather have to widen up your lips, make your lips move perfectly well, slowly, so that they can capture, because their nervous system is now slow. So that if you're able to do it that way, it will give them enough time to process the information you are giving them. You always have to orient them, whatever is going on around them. Like you come to them, hello, my name is this. I am your daughter, your so and so. It is this time of the day. I am going to do this for you. And then you give them a sense of autonomy, sense of involvement. Participate with him or her. The things that they used to do when they were younger, know what they like. Maybe they like football, they like to play, they like to watch TV. You have to involve them in all social gatherings. That will make them feel a sense of belongingness. When you're able to do these things to them, it will actually improve their emotional health, and it will help them to progress in their life. In fact, you will be able to guide them through how stress will affect their lives and give them good stress management techniques, making them always relaxed, always avoiding too much noise around them, provide adequate lighting for them, and then giving them foods that they used to prefer in bits. I think we talk about that. But all these things go a long way to affect their emotional well-being. Always encourage, praise them, be positive to them, and then always be ready to support them in whatever they are doing. Never put them aside, never be judgmental, never argue unnecessarily, even when you feel they are wrong. Find a very good way to discuss issues with them, and you will give them a very good emotional life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Kwanzaa, for giving us that in-depth explanation of the emotional and spiritual aspect of aging. At this point, to every point in time, there so things might go wrong, but there are other ways as well, or other factors that can contribute to improve that point, or that at that developmental stage of life.
Mhm.
In this case, we cannot talk about others and leave aging aside. So, what are some of the lifestyle factors that can improve aging gracefully?
Okay, to talk with some of the lifestyle factors. As Brother Kwanzaa was speaking, I was just imagining some cultures or some homes where Some individuals were able to take good care of themselves, and now they are like 110, 120. They can walk without even the sticks, and they can do some petty things. And they will be there. Then they will hear that one of their daughter, 30 years, 20 years, is dead. Now, when people are coming into the house to greet them, then they have a special eye looking at that 120 aged, meaning that he always, when the aged is there and the young one is there, then it means the aged has caused it. So we want to assure our viewers and our listeners that at times the way we tag them, when even they hear about bad news in the house that they are staying, at times that alone affect them emotionally, because they know that at the end, when they are concluding, they will say that I have caused it. Another aspect too is that some cultures, when the youth are dying, then that's where they will just assemble the aged. Some they will ship them, some they will camp them at one place, then they will put pepper and things and burn. So if you are aged and you cough, then it means you are the one who killed the one who is dead. But mind you, as we have negative aspects, remember that when you take good care of your body today, tomorrow your body will take good care of you. We have some people who started well. They did not harbor any bad negativity within them. They were open to everyone. They took good care of their lifestyle, including eating, drinking, everything. And by God's grace, now they are retired, they are on pension, and their body is now taking good care of them. Now you are the younger one, you wake up, drinks, and other junk lifestyle. Few minutes, you have kidney problem, and you are linking to the aged. So we want to say that we all age. Therefore, begin to take good care of yourself today, so that tomorrow your body will take good care of you. So physical health is very important to the aged as well. When they age, some might be in a wheelchair, some will be walking with a Zimmer frame or the crutches and the rest. But mind you, don't neglect their exercise, because physical exercise or physical activity helps. That's what, when Braconsa was speaking, he mentioned about when they age and they become immobile, then that sedentary lifestyle will predispose them to a lot of condition. So if you are still engaged them, if you are taking care of someone who is on diapers or who cannot ambulate but is bedridden, exercise comes in. You just standing in bed alone is exercise. Just raising the hand up, bringing it down, it's a form of exercise. Just flexing the leg and straightening it, it's a form of exercise. What it means is that some part should move, and when that part moves, meaning circulation will take place. But if you neglect their physical health activity, then it means there will be buildup of cholesterol, and that can lead to other heart conditions. So physical activity, as you are saying, are aged here. They also have club that they can go do their exercise, hands up, hands down, in a chair. Those in wheelchairs, they also do. And we need to, if you are a caretaker, involve them into it. And if you don't have anything, just engage them in some activity that will energize them, because exercise will make them feel better. It will make them look younger. It will help reduce even their premature death, although they are aging, but exercise alone can help reduce that. And also, exercise can help with the heart output, because as they are exercising, it will help with the lung, the muscles of the heart to be able to contract and relaxes to pump blood, and also helps with the lung capacity. You know, the lung plays a role in quality blood, and you have a quality blood, meaning that you have good health. So exercise alone also plays a major role in this. Then also another lifestyle that Braconsa mentioned in spiritual health. Some people realize that as they started bad, but now they've realized that one, they did not take good care of their children by God's will become successful in life, and you want, and I'm close to death, I die. Am I having hope? Am I going to inherit the eternal kingdom if the person is a Christian and you have that? You realize that these things just affect them, but rather you and I can help them. by reading some hope messages from the Bible to them, by giving them some hopeful scriptures that can help them, motivate them to know that they are not alone. And even as they are approaching death, that you have put scared in them, there is hope beyond death, and that will help energize them. Personal hygiene, very important, because the aged is not able to give something to you, you don't care about them. So you enter some places, the person, especially if the person is fat and cannot move and is on pampers, all the slim daughters will leave the house. So you see the person will wear the pampers and they will be in it. When you enter their room, it has a special scent. But beloved, our viewer and our listener, one day you also reach that stage. So make sure their hair, their body, their nails, everything, as you are doing, you are just communicating with them. As you are doing, you are laughing with them. As you are doing, you are just playing with them, so that it can improve their lifestyle, and bathing will help them. Then before I go to the dietary aspect, I don't know if where I've reached, Brakwansa will also add something to it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother George. Brother Kwanzaa,
Well, bro,
over to you.
you
Brother Kwanzaa?
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes, madam. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I think George has actually given a beautiful description on the physical, like physical activities, involving them in all these things. Personal hygiene, very, very crucial, because personal hygiene really affects their sense of personal value to themselves. They will always feel good about themselves when you dress them well, you give them their favorite jewelry, their favorite clothes, you groom them very well, you design their hair, you do everything perfectly for them. They have a good sense of well-being, and it affects their emotional being as well. So it's a very good thing that you talked about. One area that is very crucial that affects their nutrition, as George is going to talk about food here, is oral hygiene. And from the NHS, there is a lot of research that are coming. CQC in UK, they did a big survey and they realized in
Sorry, it looks like Brother Kwanzaa's network is not helping us. Brother George, if you wanted to add something to it, or are you okay?
Okay, so okay, he's back now. So yeah, Brakwansa, you are back now.
so NHS realized that in the various care home, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. In their documents, they realized that most of the care homes were not giving adequate oral care, and it was not actually described in the care plan of the aged, and it started affecting their appetite for food. It started creating a lot of infections. It started creating a lot of emotional uncertainties for them, because oral care is a very crucial thing for the aged, because they sometimes have faulty teeth. Their teeth becomes dislodged because calcium is being declined. Their tooth becomes weak. They cannot chew well. And it's all a big problem. So providing oral hygiene for the aged is a very crucial thing that the NHS in the UK here are now very particular. I have witnessed a lot of incidences that clients in some care homes or in some places or in some homes were not given adequate attention on oral care, and it started affecting their entire general well-being. And immediately we drew much attention on these things, their nutritional pattern started improving, their ability to communicate started improving, their sense of well-being started improving, their social inclusiveness, involving themselves. Come on, can you imagine an old person who has a stinking mouth and all these discoloration in the mouth and the tongue and the gums? How will he participate in activities? Because nobody would want to draw closer. But when you're able to do that good oral care for them, you clean their dentures, you take good care of them, and you get them a well-fitting one that actually is very functional, they become so excited, and it gives them a good sense of well-being. So basically, oral care is a very important thing that you are doing to prepare the mouth of the aged for good feeding. And it's actually done to protect them from dehydration, because when they have poor oral hygiene, they are not able to take anything, and they are not willing to accept anything by mouth because they have a lot of pain and sores and inflammations and bloody stuff that makes them uncomfortable. So if you prepare them orally, you can continue with a good dietary management for them. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Brother Francis and Brother George. So at this point, could you please summarize the whole talk as we come to
Okay, so you realize that as you are taking good care of them physically, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, then you need to also help them with the dietary aspect. And with the dietary aspect, that's what we've talked, starting from the oral care. The next one is that we are saying that they have slow digestive process, so their foods shouldn't be fried foods. No, we encourage that you limit oily foods to them. Then also chilled foods and swallowed foods should be more soft for easily digestion, because some of them, they don't have strong teeth like you to be able to, if you are giving them rice, you are taking the one rice, you take and get your sickness. But when you are giving the aged, make sure it's too soft for them to be able to chew well, for them to be able to swallow well, like the banku, the rice ball, the ampesi, and the rest. Make sure it's more or too soft for them to help with proper digestion. Very important. Encourage them when seasonal. Most of the times, most of them also don't know how to take most of the fruit and things, but seasonal fruit comes when things are in season, like the fruit, like the vegetables in season. Make sure at least you encourage them to be eating them in variety. And as they are aging, beloved, this is one of the things that predispose them to a lot of conditions, because they have taken good care of you. Now you are a banker, you are a lawyer, you are the MP, you are whatever. But make sure that as they have taken good care of themselves to reach a certain stage, don't spoil for them. So make sure you avoid all processed foods, you avoid all junk foods, you avoid these things, so that you not contribute to sickness, but rather you maintain the health that they have built up to that level. Also, make sure you refrain refined sugary product to them. You see, some people, they are traveling to see their grandmoms, grandfathers, then realize that kettle of canned drinks, energy drinks, and soda drinks and things, then they will just go and give to them. Beloved, this one will rather weaken them, but rather make sure that you give them the proper ones than the refined sugary beverages, which will rather weaken them. Encourage them on adequate water intake. If you are a caretaker, make sure you encourage them. At times, you can be doing it in a game way. So you set an alarm. When the alarm sounds, then you just go, Granny, it's time for water. Then you just give them the opportunity to do. So you need to treat them like how you treat your kids, how you treat your loved one, in a playing mood, so that they can also tolerate water intake, because that will help cleanse the system, that will help hydrate them, that will help with their blood, and that will help with their brain. But if you limit them with these things, then they'll be urinating scanty urine, offensive urine, pains, lower abdominal pains, and the rest. Then infections will lead to other conditions. So we need to be mindful of that. Then as you are aging, beloved, you can be staying with the aged and things, but make sure that you avoid smoking. Very crucial. Avoid smoking. So as you are starting preparing to age and you are a smoker, be mindful of it, because it can affect you entirely. Alcoholic intake. You see, some people say, oh, I'm almost dying, so we need to sit down and just pour some bottle and things. Beloved, be mindful of your alcohol intake, because it will not promote your health. Then also overeating. Overeating is something that is not also good. overeating, very, very bad. And we need to educate them to eat in moderation. At times, they might lose appetite, but look at their favorites and go with them in simple or smaller quantity, but in
Yes.
frequency. So you can take a little food, more of the stew, a little of the food, more of the soup. So in smaller quantity, because when you engage them in the junks and overeating, already they have slow digestive rate process, and it will help burden them and weaken them. At the end, junk and things will lead to cholesterol buildup of the blood vessels. And when blood vessels are being blocked with this cholesterol, what happens is that blood circulation will be impaired. So there will be clotting of blood as well. Then at the end, you are likely to experience hypertension. We are likely to experience aged with diabetes. We are likely to experience the heart failures, which will give us a sign of a noisy breathing, swelling of the limbs. And when you press on, then it will become like a pit. And you are likely to manage that individual with stroke, of which when it reaches that stage, everyone wants to run away from
Sorry,
you
Brother
because
George.
it will take.
There is a feedback. I don't know. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, can I please continue? Yeah, so when that occurred, you see the cholesterol building up in the blood vessels can also affect blood circulation to the brain. And when there is less amount of oxygenated blood to the brain, it can lead to a stroke form that we call the ischemic stroke, where less amount of oxygen-rich blood is being supplied to the brain. And if it's at the other stage, then it will lead to the rupture of the brain vessel. Then that is what we call the hemorrhagic stroke. So we don't want our aged to be getting stroke and bedridden. That's why we want to uplift this topic, create the awareness. Kidney stones, if the person is not drinking enough water, you are not monitoring the output, can also lead to these things. And we need to be mindful. You see, how can the aged leg? When you press, then there will be a pit like this. It tells you that there is system failing, organ failing, like the kidney, like the lymphatic system to help with drainage. So, beloved, as a viewer or a listener, we want you to save your money and age gracefully rather than aging with sickness. So, in a nutshell, you follow the healthy principles approach. Be careful with the diet, exercise, water intake. At times, let them walk in the sun. Or if they are not able to walk, just bring them out to get exposed with the sun. And also make sure their rooms are airy so that they will be able to inhale quality air. Then make sure they have enough rest and also uplift Christ to them. And that is where they will have the trust and hope. And when these come together, then we can say that the aged lifestyle is very important, and you will not suffer spending money in sickness, but we will be able to age gracefully. So that is to the one that is aged. But you and I, who is on the grounds aging, then we need to take good care of ourselves today so that tomorrow we will also age gracefully. Thank you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for giving us this important talk. Brother Kwanzaa, do you want to add anything?
Yes, my brother has said a lot, and
Go
that is
on.
very, very brilliant of him. I just want to say, as a summary, in bringing our presentation to a close, as a closing remark, I would want to give some statistics from the WHO that is telling us that by the year 2030, when you pick 6 people, one of them will be 60 years of age. I say that again. By the year 2030, according to WHO, World Health Organization, when you see 6 people, one of them will be 60 years. And but at this time, the share of the population aged 60 years and over will increase from 1 billion in 2020 to 1.4 billion. By 2050, the world's population of people aged 60 and older will double onto 2.1 billion. These are very astronomical values. The one that is even more scary, the number of persons aged 80 or older is expected to triple between 2020 and 2050 to reach 426 million. Friends, why am I giving all these statistics? They are to tell us that there is a storm ahead of us, and our current lifestyle, our current choices that we are making today will lead us to a stage of the aged with so much comorbidities and problems that, especially in our country, in those other middle to lower income countries like my country, Ghana, and other countries in Europe, wherever, or whatever, Asian or whatever, this thing is going to be more rampant because they do not have adequate resources, unlike the Western countries that they can provide a lot of things to take care of them. So it is better for us to protect ourselves and live a good and healthy life that will make us grow older but look younger, so that when we get to that stage in our life, we can live a peaceful life. And so I wish we can continue with this topic and actually talk about old lives matter, where we will discuss some theories about aging that our public people, listeners, will know what the aged is really going through. There are certain aspects of aging that we can control, we can switch them off. And then there are some aspects we cannot do anything about. So that if we're able to know the one that we can turn off and then or delay them, we can live a very peaceful life. And so I wish everyone the best. And I'm very glad we actually are having this topic because aged are very, very important to me. And I'm very glad George and Madam Hannah for adding me to this page. Thank you very much. I want to extend the greetings to my boss, the general manager, Mr. Salamo Hedi. He actually wants to participate. He was listening to us as I sent the message to him, and he was very happy because he's also the general manager for Top Care in UK here. Thank you very much for this program. May God richly bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Panther and Brother George. I'm sure, Brother George, are you okay? Or you want to add something again?
Yeah, it's cool. So the summary is enough. So what we need to note is that if you are with the aged and you are maltreating that individual, your daughters, your children, they are watching you. So that is a seed that you have just started sowing. You will also grow, and they will also now come and continue harvesting. So they will also maltreat you same. So in a nutshell, you also age. So treat the aged as you want yourself to be treated when you are also aged. Thank you.
Thank
In
you.
a, Thank you so much. In a simple term, do unto others as you want others to do unto you. Everyone will be there, except if you die earlier than your time. Otherwise, you enjoy the benefit of aging. So let's prepare ourselves as we prepare others to go through that moment. It has been a great topic with great men that I have behind me. I am very proud of you, the way that you have delivered the message to us, to our listeners and viewers. Brother Jojo, thank you so much for joining us, and Sister Victoria. We are really proud of you. And others that we cannot mention their names. Wherever you are, we say thank you and may God bless you as you continue to do your part by watching us and then listening to us or inviting others to join us each and every week. The same time next week, 3 p.m. UK time. Wherever you are, you can convert the time into your own zone. Until then, my name is Hanna Bimah, and it is bye-bye to everyone. Thank you.